my creative and crafty friends. This is Gloria Plunkett with designsbygloria.com. I'm here to share with you this cute little money cake that I put together for you, and I wanted to share with you how to make this for anybody that has an upcoming birthday or anniversary or anything like that. Anyway, it's a little cake. I don't know if it's coming out pretty good on the camera here, but it's a little cake, and it's got dollar bills, or money I should say, all the way around. And this is my first one that I made, my prototype, and I'm going to show you how to put this together. And I'm also going to have a free downloadable tutorial with all the measurements and the parts that I used. For this particular project here, I did use my 1/2-inch punch that is since retired from Stampin' Up, but you can order this from other paper craft companies. So that is one retired product that I am going to be using. Just wanted to share that with you. So let's get started. Here are the bones for this project. I went ahead and used the adorable owls for this particular cake project that I'm going to put together. And I'm also going to use the stylish shapes dies, in particular the largest circle stitch die. And then also my seasonal labels dies. And in this one, this is the piece I'm going to use here, which you don't have to have this die set. You could also use a craft knife to cut out what I'm going to show you in a bit. But this is the one little piece that we're going to use from that set. And I left a piece of tape on it because this came with two. I've already lost one of them, and I don't want to lose this one. So I put a piece of tape so I could find that. So here are the bones of the cake that we're going to put together. These are the templates, and I'll have these on the tutorial for you. And what I'm using, like I said, the largest of the stitched circles from the stylish shapes dies. I'm also going to use some designer, as you can see here, I've got designer series paper on my layers here. I'm going to use the designer series paper for this particular project. I went ahead and in advance cut a couple of these, but I'm going to show you how to do it as well. I've got a couple templates that just makes it easier to mark these. Again, I've got this designer series paper I'm going to be using, but these right here are actually the bones of the card. So we're going to need one of those. We're going to need two of those, and then we're going to need, of the thick basic white cardstock, we're going to need two of these. These I would use regular basic white cardstock. We're going to need these pieces cut out, and then these little pillar pieces to put the cake together. And like I said, I'll have a template, but I wanted to show you how to pull it together so when you make yours. So what I've done, let me get my templates out the way. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've cut my little center piece here for my layer of my cake. I've cut this white, basic white piece, and then I layered a piece of designer series paper. Then I punched all my holes afterwards. I cut this layer piece for the outside of my cake, and then I've cut these little pieces, and I'll show you how this all goes together. Just kind of, you can see here I didn't put any designer series paper in between these layers right here. I think it'll look prettier with the designer series paper going up and down the actual cake, and I'll show you how that goes together. All right, so I've cut a basic white circle and added a basic designer series paper I cut, and then glued those together. I did the same thing for this one, a basic white circle, glued a piece of designer series paper on top, and then made the slit here on the bottom. Again, all I did was put this template on here, traced it, and then I used that little piece from the die set that I mentioned earlier, this little piece here, to cut out the little center. Then I took another piece and I added it to another piece of cardstock, and I punched all of these and cut the slit in the middle. So the way I do this one, again, I'm going to take a regular piece and then a designer series paper piece, and I'm going to use my liquid adhesive, which is my glue of choice, and I'm going to add this on top of these circles, and you're going to do the same thing for these over here. Okay, so we need two that are going to be looking like this, and two that are going one that's going to look like this, sorry. Then I'm going to take this, I'm going to bring in the template I created. I'm going to add this here. I'm just grabbing a pencil over here, and what I'll do is I'll line it up, and I'll trace my little circles and my center slit onto my designer series paper, just like so. Doesn't take long at all. Okay. Then I take my 1/2 inch punch, turn it upside down, center my little punch over each of those holes that I've penciled in, and punch. And I'm going to do that all the way around. I'm going to try and speed up this portion of the video so you don't have to watch me do the same thing over and over again. There we go. We've cut all those pieces out. Get rid of this trash here. Now we need to cut the center out. Like I said, I did it both ways just to see how it would work. So this is the little piece that I'm going to use. And what I would do, I would take it and center it right on that little slit and run it through my die cut machine, which I'll do right now. And I'll show you how it turns out. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Doesn't take long at all. So, all right, so we've got the first piece cut, and then I'll just remove this blue tape, which holds it in place. I'll gently remove and then just push that little piece through. Okay. Then I'm going to take this piece again. I'm going to slide it right in that slot that I previously cut, and then I'm going to pull it up, slide it so it's on the same slot, pull it up, then run it through my machine again. Let's take care of that right now. And let me show you what else you can use over here. Okay, if you don't have the seasonal layer dies, see, then I just push it through and it makes my little slice down the center of my cardstock. But if you don't have that die set, another option is to take your craft knife and just cut a slit down the center of the cardstock, and you can create the same template as well here. So now I have my top layer piece, my middle layer cake piece, and then my bottom layer cake piece. So let's put this together. Put these up here for now. This is my template. So I'm going to need these pieces here, which are 1 1/4 inch by 6 inch, scored at 1 1/4 inch. This is 4 3/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch. And this is, you're going to need 2 of these, which is 1 1/4 by 6 inch, scored at 1 1/4. Why do we have 3 pieces? What I'm going to do is to give stability to my cake. I'm going to glue one of these in here. I'm going to glue, making sure that the score line is on the bottom. I'm going to put these together, and I'm going to adhere them together, leaving this as my little flap. Okay, then I'm going to take my designer series paper, and I'm going to glue that over the top of these 3 layers to create this, and I'm going to put one on this side as well. Ready? Let's glue these pieces together. I'm going to place some adhesive right here, all the way up to where that score line is. And I'm going to put my center panel right there. Again, I want this to give my center cake piece some stability. Can add some more liquid adhesive here. And I'm at the other panel, again with a score line on the bottom. Next, I'm going to add my designer series paper on top. You don't have to use designer series paper. You can stamp it. You can just leave it a solid color. Whatever you choose. I just wanted a little bit more coordination, so I added a little designer series paper to my, plus it adds additional stability as well. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna, for the bottom panel of the, this panel here for the cake, I'm gonna take 2 pieces of thick basic white cardstock. I'm going to add some adhesive to the bottom here. And I'm going to adhere those 2 pieces together. Again, giving more stability to the bottom of my cake, so to speak. Then we're going to start with this one here at the very bottom layer. We're going to eventually glue that there. But first, we're going to take this and push it through the bottom of the cake panel, and then I'm simply going to add adhesive to these 2 panels below it. Now there's no adhesive here, I'm just trying to do this so I can line it up perfectly with this panel, and all I'm doing is pushing this so that it matches perfectly with my bottom circle. Now, I'm going to push this up and add adhesive here, and then adhere the designer series paper to the bottom. Okay, again, giving more stability to my cake. All right, so now we have this, which is our bottom layer. Okay, then I'm going to put in this piece, which is the same as the top piece. And let's see, I'm going to line it up like this. Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do first. I've got these little pieces, which are 1 1/4 by 1 1/4, scored at 3/4 here. Then I added a piece of designer series paper. I need 2 of those. Then I need 2 that are 1 1/4 by 1 1/2. And on the 1 1/2 inch line, I scored at 1 inch. Then I added a piece of it, designer series paper to that. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to adhere this to the side of the cake, okay? Let me do this. Again, so for more stability, I'm going to adhere this on each side of the cake, right down the center here, and press. I don't have any adhesive here yet, so I'm just pressing that together, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I take the 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 piece, adhere the adhesive to the larger side of the scored piece of paper, and I'm going to adhere it just like so. I like liquid glue because I can move things around a little bit. So now I have this panel. This is what it looks like. Okay, now I'm going to add liquid glue here and here, and I'm going to put in the first layer of the cake. This is the base of the cake. So I'm going to put some adhesive here, turn it around, put some adhesive here, and I'll bring in my punched end. It's a little thicker, so we're going to have to press a little bit to get it in there. And then I'm going to line it up. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to adhere those 2 little tabs that I just adhered, and now we have this. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the layer on top, only this layer is 1 inch tall. So, but it's going to be the same thing. First, I'm going to add this piece here. I'm going to add adhesive to this piece here. And give it a little bit of a press to make sure those stick. Push that down. I'm going to add some adhesive to this tab, and again adhere my second layer of my cake. Get that in there. I'm going to take one of my dollar bills before I push those together. I'm just going to take that to make sure that my holes are aligned. Okay, so now I know that that looks pretty good. Now I can press down on this layer right here. I can pull this out, actually. I'll just leave it because we're going to need to insert it anyway. Okay. Now, I printed out some fake $5 bills because I didn't want to go to the bank before making this video. And all I did... Where's my other fake dollar? You just take your dollar bill, or $5, $20, whatever you want to use. And then I took this little paintbrush and I rolled it up just like this. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Made sure it was nice and even. And then this little area here where it sticks up, I'm going to put that towards this side of the cake. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to get it in there nice and even. I'm going to let it go. And it'll roll out to make this. And then what I would recommend is you do one here, then do one here, then do one here, then do one here, until you have them all loaded up inside of your cake, and that makes it really stable. Then the rest you just decorate. For this one, I'm going to add a little owl right here. And here I'm going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals. Let me grab them. I didn't have them right handy. I like to use these little pieces of these small dimensional pieces. I might need to add a larger piece. Just going to add that there. And I'll add this little fella right there. Then I have a sentiment that says, "It's your day," from the same little adorable owl set. I'm going to cut another piece here. And I'm going to add this the right way to the top. And then what I did here, on this one, I punched a little hole. I used my crocodile machine because this one will cut through several layers, and all I have to do is, see here, push that down. So I'll put this in here, and I'll center it as best I can. This is only if you want to. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to put it on a little. And then I'll add some twine. And then what I did on this one, see how I have that here? I also did the same thing on the back side. So no matter which way it turned, it would be pretty. I hope you enjoy my project. I hope you'll give this a shot and take some pictures and let me see what you've come up with. Of course, you can decorate this for any season, for anything. Christmas, birthday, anniversary. Like my granddaughter just did a project on 4-H Club, came in first place. So I'm going to do a little something special for her, not with balloons, but something kind of like this and give her a little bit of cash to show her how proud we are of her. If you have any questions, please leave me a message below and I will be happy to respond to you. I will have the template and a printable tutorial as well as this video available for you. Thanks so much and hope you all have a blessed day.